Time now for the morning rush.
We start with Kristen Curry.
Good morning. Mostly to partly sunny skies on top today. You're going to notice an increase in cloud cover later this afternoon. A few spot showers possible, but these are likely going to be dry showers, meaning the rain will fall from the clouds, but we're too dry here at the surface to see anything significant. Gusty winds and lightning possible. This does all clear out by the time we hit tomorrow morning. David?
Happening today, a judge could decide whether to push back the murder trial for accused cop killer Devon Lyman. Lyman is accused of murdering APD officer Daniel Webster during a traffic stop in 2015. His murder trial is scheduled to begin this Friday, but last month Lyman's new attorney asked Judge Brianna Zamora to delay the trial until May 2019. Both say they need more time to prepare because they are also handling the trials for Michelle Martins and Fabian Gonzalez, two of the suspects charged with the murder of 10-year-old Victoria Martins.
We did some checking for you and found two men accused of selling alcohol to minors are out of jail, I should say. According to a criminal complaint, deputies and state police busted 38-year-old Asnier Rodriguez Hurtado Friday night. He's accused of buying alcohol for two minors at a Circle K. Deputies also arrested 52-year-old Timothy Olguin. He's accused of buying whiskey for a minor at a Giant gas station. Judge Christine Rodriguez released both on their own recognizance.
Santa Fe police are searching for the man on your screen, 44-year-old James Jochum. Police say he's wanted in connection to a fight with shots fired at the Blake's Lauterburger on Airport Road in Santa Fe. Police say an arrest warrant has been issued. They say he was last seen driving a silver Ford F-150 pickup. They also say he's considered armed and dangerous. If you see him, you're asked to call police.
Police in Espanola investigating a deadly shooting after a man says he fired his gun trying to scare off what he thought was an intruder. 68-year-old Douglas Smith is facing a second-degree murder charge this morning. According to the New Mexican, police say the woman was shot in the head and died. Officers say no burglary tools were found. Her name is yet to be released.
New Mexico's highest court could once again hear arguments on whether the state should use public funds to pay for textbooks at private schools. The lawsuit claims the state's use of public money for private schools has taken money away from public schools. In 2015, the state Supreme Court ruled the Constitution prohibits the use of public funds for the benefit of private schools. The U.S. Supreme Court then ordered the New Mexico Supreme Court to reconsider its decision.
On to new details now. Gina Haspel remains on track to be the next director of the CIA. The Washington Post recently reported that she sought to withdraw from consideration. The Post said she wanted to avoid a confirmation hearing centered on her role in the CIA's enhanced interrogations of terror suspects, which critics have likened to torture. However, a source close to the matter told CBS News that her nomination is, quote, going forward.
Rudy Giuliani says President Trump doesn't have to cooperate with special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation. Giuliani was speaking in his new role as a member of Mr. Trump's legal team. He said the president wouldn't have to comply with a subpoena and could also refuse to answer questions by asserting his Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination.
Turning now to some heartbreaking news out of Hawaii. This as dozens of families are waking up homeless. The eruption of the Kilauea volcano is now in its 5th day. The lava flow on the Big Island being blamed for destroying more than 20 houses. Some 1,700 residents are still evacuated this morning.
Sad news this morning. The Los Ranchos community is remembering the life of Mayor Larry Abraham. Abraham died Saturday night in Utah after a medical episode. He was 64 years old. Now, Abraham was the mayor of Los Ranchos for the past 14 years. He was a UNM alumnus and a wildlife photographer, capturing stunning images of the North Valley. Abraham leaves behind his wife Beverly and his son Jeff.
On to new details now. The daughter of the president of the Navajo Nation says she will lead a campaign against alcohol abuse. This after apologizing for allegedly getting behind the wheel drunk. Arizona DPS says Carice Begay rear-ended a semi and crashed into a guardrail just south of Flagstaff. It happened 2 weeks ago. Jail records show Begay admitted to drinking 2 glasses of wine. She also had open containers in her SUV.
Today, a hearing is set to begin on whether to allow a uranium mine in New Mexico to become active again. The mine's owner, Rio Grande Resources, wants to restart it and actually got the green light by the State Mining and Minerals Division director in December. Now, 2 environmentalist groups are fighting it, calling on the commission for a review. The 2-day hearing begins today. Kristen?
Today's Metro Threat Index down to a 2. We are going to be looking at some very warm temperatures this afternoon, so take heat precautions, but also some gusty storms kicking out some strong winds. So if all of a sudden you start to notice those stronger wind gusts, do know you've got a thunderstorm in the area. Crystal?
Happening now, you can get involved in the revival of a decades-old club aimed at encouraging women to mountain bike. An Albuquerque chapter of a women's mountain biking group called the Wombats began 20 years ago. Now a UNM physical therapy student is starting it back up. She's still organizing monthly meetups. We did post more information for you at alwaysonkrqe.com.
Gas prices have been on the rise for several weeks now, and industry watchers are cautioning even higher prices are on the way. According to AAA, the nation's average held steady at $2.81 a gallon, but experts think drivers could see $3 a gallon for regular gas. This would be just as the summer driving season hits. In fact, prices have already topped that level in some states. They say the blame is on rising crude oil prices.
Today is National Melanoma Day. The American Academy of Dermatology says today they hope to raise awareness of the disease. Melanoma is one of the most fatal forms of skin cancer. As the summer approaches, doctors remind us be cautious with sun safety and tanning in general. People are asked to wear orange today in honor of National Melanoma Day. Kristen.
Time now for a check on traffic. Nothing major out there when it comes to crashes or major slowdowns. A little bit accompanying I-25 southbound approaching Osuna. But of course, I'll keep eyes on the roads for you throughout the morning.
Well, a 5-year-old boy in West Virginia got a special surprise from the ones who protect and serve. Firefighters showed up delivering toys, school supplies, and even a bike to the 5-year-old. The surprise comes after the boy was caught in the middle of a drug bust last week. And when the boy's father was pulled over and police found meth-making supplies and tools inside their camper, everything had to be confiscated. So with their own money, the firefighters went out to buy the little boy new toys and clothes.
Very sweet. All right, time now for the 5 facts.
We start with number 5 here. The High Five Tour from the Wounded Warrior Family Support Group is in town. The tour sends drivers across the country in a patriotic vehicle, thanking people for their support of veterans. You will be able to donate to the project, and you can even sign the vehicle with a message of support. At the end of the tour, the vehicle will be donated to a veteran in need. The vehicle is equipped to help a wounded warrior drive again. You can see the vehicle at Rich Ford from 5 to 7 p.m. today.
At number 4 this morning, Albuquerque beekeepers are working hard to rebuild the number of bees in New Mexico. They're also now telling everyone in the state that if you see bees, to leave them alone and call 311 immediately. They say it could make a huge difference for the pollinators. They also say the cause for all of this is the warm winter, which has devastated hives. Beekeepers think as many as 50% of the bees did not survive.
At number 3, looking at very warm temperatures today, well into the 80s here in Albuquerque. Current record stands at 92, and this is going to be a statewide warm up as the 90s continue here in the Rio Grande Valley for the next couple of days. We do have the chance for a few virga showers and dry thunderstorms this afternoon, watching for some gusty winds and dry lightning.
Number 2 now, the family of a Taos woman missing for 2 years is not giving up their search this morning. Holly White's family is now offering up to a $20,000 reward. White was last seen alive May 5th, 2016. She was reported missing the very next day after she did not show up to an appointment with a friend. Her car was found later that day at the Taos Gorge. Many suspected suicide, but those who know her best say that just cannot be the case. There were signs of no foul play. Police say this is still a missing person investigation.
And at number 1, an internal investigation is underway for a Rio Rancho police officer who investigators say rear-ended another driver last month. Officer Brittany Mainsmith was driving south on 528 in her marked police unit when police say she hit another driver. Now, the other driver was sent to the hospital for minor injuries. Mainsmith's patrol car was totaled. Now, it's unclear if she was on duty at the time. A spokesperson with the Rio Rancho police would only confirm it's under internal investigation. The reports show this is Mainsmith's 4th incident in just 2 years.